I'm glad you found me. Thanks for joining me tonight. Let's get out of the rain and get settled in and talk a little 1111 true crime with Mama D. Remember, everything I share with you is only my opinion. I don't always agree with the ones that call me, but I respect their own expressions and beliefs. Opinions, speculation, it's all a part of every investigation, but it's only possibilities and theories based on our thoughts and feelings and not considered fact. Welcome home. Let's get in where it's warm. I've got us a nice crackling fire waiting. Well, hello, my beautifuls. I hope you are doing well. I thought we'd join together tonight for a little late night true crime chat here on 1111 with Mama D. And I thought we'd break it down a little bit to relax, not feel so hyper, because if we stay wound, it's stressful. We don't get good sleep at night. And so I think we should unwind a little bit, but I want to talk about the Idaho 4. So tonight we've got our hot topic. All right. There are 3 things that are standing between Kohberger and freedom, as far as I can tell, to the best of my knowledge. We've got the phone pings, right? We've got the car video and the sheath DNA. I want to say welcome, everybody. Whether you are on the live or you are on replay, you beat the algorithm, and that really helps our channel get out to more and more people. And I appreciate you. I appreciate it. It does look so real because it are really nice. It is real, but it has a calming effect. It really does. So I've decided that I get bored with the same screen all the time. I want to kind of bring our day when we get late at night like this, where we can just get settled in and we can relax together. And for some of us, maybe we fall asleep. Some of us, maybe we just leave the video playing while we relax, But whatever you do, if you have been following the Idaho 4 case, we're down to the 3 headwinds in the case, which is the phone pings, the video on the camera of the vehicle, and the DNA on the knife sheath. But has the defense broke down the prosecution's lack of evidence, in a sense? I mean, for the PCA alone, that everything is based on, and what the grand jury used to indict Brian Kohberger, none of it's available in its full content. There's bits, there's pieces. But like I kind of referred to before, if you're baking a cake, and that's the entire Kohberger case, the Idaho 4 case, it's missing, as Cy Ray spoke up, critical points, which would be what? The eggs, the flour, or maybe even the milk or the water, whatever you're putting in that cake. Perhaps a little bit of all 3. Hey, Tommy Jude Lovely. Check out Once Upon a Crime Time. Check out Tommy Jude, wonderful feller. Always want to support fellow creators. I appreciate that. I also want to shout out to my beautiful Lib, right? My Starlight, Summer Snow. My beautiful Jenny Troglin is one of our mods, as well as Mr. Ifs is here. It is late at night, so we don't have as many mods on this evening, but perhaps they'll join us soon. Hey, Cherish63. Mama D, that water looks really nice. Thank you, Ro. Thank you. Hey, Davy Jones, catching the beginning of this. Got mod duties on another channel. Thank you for coming back and forth, love. Wild Man's Mom. I'm going to be in the bushes, just so y'all know. I'm not a creeper every time. All right, let's get your chat up on the window, and let's switch the topic out for a little slideshow. Just some pictures of the case as we talk. Give us something to see. So, my first comment of the night is basically I'm looking forward to a true crime chat about the Idaho 4 under the moon on the beach together tonight. So, I thought that would be a fun way for us to enjoy this. We might keep this for a day or two. You never know. We'll get bored, we'll change it up, put a whole new background, different feel. Ah. You are back and forth as you're cooking? Well, thank you, Mr. Ifs. Robin Davis Ducksworth says, I fell asleep that first night and had to replay the next morning, so the nature scenes definitely work to relax. And that's what I thought. I'm trying to team up this whole concept that, yes, we want to fall asleep, but we want to do it in a relaxed setting. And we don't want to always be pumping our heads so full of adrenaline and frustration. And so I thought we could take it down a notch a little bit and do a little bit late night crime solving together. Hey, Debbie Gazzardo. I have a hard time saying your last name. I don't know why. I'm sorry, lovely. Tor 16 has a really good point. Perhaps they are hiding key details implicating others. Let's get who we're talking about on the screen. Let's add that in. There we go. That's the thing. Did it have something to do with Ethan and Santa over at the Sigma Chi? Did it have to do with something that Maddie knew about or Kaylee knew about? Whatever it had to do with tonight, I want us to kind of set that aside for a minute, and I want to talk about specifics. I want to try to work us into the mindset of the vehicle, the phone pings, the DNA. So let's start off with the phone pings, right? This is where Cy Ray comes in. Now, if you listen to or you read the PCA or you listen to the prosecution, they're actually not giving us the full information. Well, actually, you could even listen to Cy Ray. That would be the best one to listen to during the last hearing, where he was explaining when it came to the phone pings and the information regarding the phone, there are missing critical pieces of data. He also did say he really reserves the right to adjust his findings, if you will, until he gets those critical key pieces, which I thought was fair and very respectable. What do you guys think on that? Oh my golly, we got a wildfire tonight. Now, Wildfire is a mama and she is busy. So when we get Wildfire, I feel so blessed because I know she's got all her ducks in a row and she's come to visit us. And she's one of my very beautiful mods, one of our mods, right? Tommy Jude throwing out some love to everybody. Look at this. We got a full house almost. If we had Born Pack right here, we'd have a full house. Az is here, clocking in. Thank you, lovely. I love you, darling. Thank you. CrimeCon is going on in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, we're going to have our own True Crime-a-con here. We're going to have an 11/11 True Crime-a-con right here, right now. So let's talk about the false positive for one. Does anybody know what I mean by false positive when we're talking about phone pings? And I do hear often a lot of stuff about like a guilter, somebody that feels Brian's guilty, throw it at me and go, well, his phone hooked up to their Wi-Fi. Now, if you actually go back and you're like, where did that come from? It came from Steve G. But that is not what he actually said. He said, might as well have. That doesn't mean it happened, y'all. I'm sorry. If you're a guilter and you're like, well, It hooked up to their Wi-Fi. No, it actually did not. Because we would have heard about that by now, I guarantee you. Now, maybe once all the details, the flour gets sifted and they start composing the cake and we have all the details, my view would change. But at this point, as far as everything that we've been led to know, Brian's phone did not connect to their Wi-Fi. In fact, the defense is making the claim that Cy Ray has the capability to show that Brian's alibi, which is over at the, what is it, the YY or the Wayway? The Wayway Park, right? Okay. So if that's all true and well and good, how can he actually be at the locations such as the smoke shop and something about a red? I got to rewatch that. Some other place was referred to in this last trial. I've got the entire thing the person is saying on the screen. I'm taking little courses on OBS every day so that I can improve how we present, right? How do I say this? Brandon? Oh, Brandon Donahue. Lord, give me the blonde award for a minute. I'm a redhead, by the way. Brendan Donahue, forgive me, lovely. You say, does anybody know what actually happened? I mean, this was a college party house. I'm sure so many people know exactly what happened. This is crazy. And we're going to be bringing that party house up in a little bit because of DNA, right? But as far as the phone pings go themselves, were you guys thinking along the lines of, like, the one tower in Moscow is what it sounded like to me? And even locals reporting that in certain areas of that, like if you're on this side or that side, that your reception drops. Like you absolutely cannot make a call. And I'm wondering, I'd like to know from a local that could help us out, answer this. Would the dead zone that you guys are referring to, where would that be demographically compared to the Wayway Park? I'm just asking because it really kind of makes me wonder. Good point. Oh, well, thank you, my kid's keeper. Vivian P. Those 4 people caught running on the body cam. I mean, that right there. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, right? Tour 16. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump you. Says BK may not be squeaky clean, but more criminals were involved, in my opinion. Thank you for adding in my opinion. Hello, Kathleen. Kathleen Van Bogart. Hello, my beautiful. Good to see you. Moonlight Rays says Brandon Donahue, in my opinion, Green silenced students like he did when the Roe versus Wade was overturned. And if you don't know what she's talking about, I am telling you, there is history there. When she says Roe versus Wade, boom, you got it. There is history. There are professors I've done stories on that were like demonized to the public and fired because this professor was trying to encourage not only her voice to speak for her students, but also encouraging the activists there to, let's just say, deep dive into where the funding was going. And when I say demonized, Lord have mercy, y'all go watch my video. I wish I knew I was going to talk about that. I'd throw it up on the screen so you could see it. But it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Who is Green? The president of the school. Yes, correct. So, Mr. Green Jeans, I'd like to call him, is not just the president of the school. He actually is, I guess, to the best of my knowledge, a billionaire. Legit, to the best of my knowledge. And as far as I know to be true, he has been trying to purchase the Phoenix of Arizona University online schooling as well, and even had that deal being kind of like beginning to talk about it, and there were closed door meetings and so forth. Like at the beginning, when the Idaho 4 would have taken place. Now, I could be wrong on the timeline, but it is to the best of my knowledge. Do your own research. Form your own opinion. I feel like I got a mosquito on me. Being at the beach, it could be. I'm serious, though. I had the door open a lot. It was beautiful today. Jenny says, I remember that. As says, it's the reason for the necessity to be able to lap in the worst of times. Also the reason for goat buttons all the way. You guys are silly. He not the sheriff, but he does run the town. Melody says, he the sheriff. He not the sheriff. Green ain't the sheriff. But I will agree with your second part, in my humble opinion. And that's all it is, so it ain't worth squat. But he does run that town. I mean, I think he took it personal when they put the little Moscow stickers up, which caused the whole sticker gate, which if you don't know about that, it was these kids that, I guess it was during COVID, didn't want to obey the rules. And then they were treated poorly or something. I don't really know the fine details, but that's folklore at this point until you go do your research. But anyway, the gist of it was that these stickers were created that were Moscow, Russia, with the sickles, right? And these kids were putting them up on light poles, and there are stickers all over Moscow. Like there are even 666 stickers, all kinds of icky stickers. There's religious stickers. There's just cute stickers. It's like Sticker Central. So the kids and these people made up stickers. And they went out, and these kids, one wasn't a kid. I think one was a young adult. And might have even been his dad or something. But the younger kid was there too that was a minor. Long story short, the cops got all panties in a wad, right? Ellie got their panties in a wad. Because that's what it is when you act like a girl and you start, and I'm no offense to girls, I love girls, I am a girl, but you all know we can act like a diva and get an attitude. And it's not proper. Yes, Davy Jones. And so they interrogated these kids, and then the parents got involved. The kids weren't released to the parents. There was no legal representation with the minor, no parents with the minor when the child was talked to and questioned. So after a year of going back and forth in court where all LE is under oath saying, nope, we don't got video. And they're like, you had to have it. Your car is sitting there. We have dash cam. You guys are supposed to have your body cam on. Nope, we don't got video. All of a sudden, one officer speaks up and says, yes, we do. Right? So it was a drop the mic moment. So it was produced, and there was no audio. As far as my knowledge goes, which, again, take that with a grain of salt, do your own research, I don't believe that audio ever got produced. And yeah, okay, father and sons. Right. So that was not resolved until after the Idaho 4 took place. So it was going on during that. And whether that's important or not, I'm not sure. But the mere fact that it was going on and it was alleged that there was video and they were saying, no, there wasn't. And then when it was produced, it was missing the audio. And then we take a mirror and we're like, oh, that's happening right here in the Kohberger trial. And that's where I'm getting the problem with the vehicle cam. So that's a big deal too. That's a big deal too. Yes, Vivian P., you can mention another creator that does an excellent job covering the case. I appreciate that. Anybody that's working hard, I would love to give them a shout out. MSM? Hmm. Thank you, Az. We sincerely appreciate you leaving a thumb up on the way in or when it feels right. Thumbs up beats the algorithm, which means more folks see this, keeping focus on these cases. Very good. Awesome. Thank you. Brenna Lilly says, I wonder when Big K was arrested in Pennsylvania, did he talk to the police then or ask for an attorney? I don't know. Isn't that missing? I don't think there's any, like, documentation of it for video, is there? That's a good question. I think you're talking about crime. Okay. Yes, we're very familiar. Thank you, Vivian. Yep, Drip Drop's one of our favorite. Thank you. Melody, we love you too, says Love Mama T and Mods. Thank you. Kathleen says, how about a shout out for my man Tommy? That's right. There's another good creator. Go check out Once Upon a Crime. A.R. Hayes, right? All good channels. Also, 666 Metal Mayhem Murders. That's a good channel I catch once in a while, too. Moonlight Ray says, I believe because it would be a federal charge due to crossing state lines. My understanding, they couldn't get to the FGJ, so that is why they took the state route. I think there was a little bit of a moment between Anne and Brett Payne when he was on the stand, and I will have to try to timestamp it. Let me make a note. Note for next time we talk about Idaho for Brett and Anne. She was like, are you saying that Brian was never on Highway 95? And Brett got blustered. I mean, he got blustered. Seriously. You say, Moonlight Ray says, for my... Oh, I'm on a different one. Sorry. Amy Conway. Sorry about that. I've got two screens and I was reading the old one. Amy Conway says, so many questions, Mama Diva. Even stuff L.E. did put out. How do we know that stuff's even true? We don't. There's nowhere to put a stake in the ground. When it comes to the phone pings, which I'm still stuck on, which we'll move to the DNA, and we're going to talk more about the vehicle. But let me get over a couple of these things that have me hung up on the phone pings. The false positive. All right? If they have a ping that says Brian was at this location based on this information, this is how we got to this information. Here was a report, and it puts Brian at this location. But they know Brian wasn't at that location, which is exactly what they've shared with us. It's a false positive. If you've ever been in high school and you're in science class and you've got to do that little experiment and you have your standard over here, right? If you get a positive result when you know it should be negative, you got to rewrite your equation as to how you're figuring out your data, because you now don't have a guarantee, not 100%, that the others aren't false positives. You've lost the bar of how high you need to set it. And to me, if you lose that standard bar when someone's life is on the table, that's lowering the standard of life, devaluing life. Regardless, this could be your brother, this could be your sister, it could be your cousin, your boyfriend or husband, your wife, your daughter, your son. We don't know. Because if he actually is innocent, that means he did not commit this crime. That means they're building a case based on the defense providing enough of what they know about what he did that they can, in my humble opinion, manipulate the information to make the shoe fit. And they become that ugly little stepsister that we know they're trying to be right now, in my humble opinion, of cramming their fat, big toe into that little dainty slipper that isn't going to fit. It's going to look like a busted can of biscuits coming out the seams, foot all arch, can't even get the heel in, and everybody is going to be like, you obviously fail miserably. Just my opinion. Joe Puglish, thank you. Let me get to it. Where did I... Let me clear it and we'll get caught back up. I lost it. Shoot, Joe Puglish, where did you go? I gotta find you. You had a good point. I lost it, lovely. Tommy Judas sneaking back in while he cooks. Hey, if this is our cooking show or if this is your bedtime show, I don't care as long as you hang out with me in the evening so I'm not lonely. I got somebody to talk my true crime with. I appreciate you. Let's see what T. Harris is saying so that we can connect with what Az is answering. I'm missing something. Y'all, where'd my chat go? Moonlight Ray says, Mama D, as much as I already respect you and your work, your public apology was beautiful. And I meant every word of it. I think anytime you speak from the heart, it can be felt. And that's all it was. It wasn't to impress nobody, y'all. I felt bad on the whole thing, and so does everybody else. And we welcome Carolyn Miller back. Thank you, lovely. Brennan Lilly says, I think there was phone pings in Moscow of his phone. Didn't he go eat at the restaurant? Maybe he went shopping. And that's the thing. 9 miles apart approximately, right? Between Pullman and Moscow. Everybody goes back and forth. So I have a question for you. If we were to right now be like, oh, special delivery, and there was a knock at the door. And I went down there, and it was a delivery guy. We'll call him FedEx, right? FedEx. And he was like, hey, how you doing? I've got this little stack of paperwork of everybody that you wanted a copy of that pinged off the Moscow Tower between the hours of midnight on 11/13th, 2022, until noon or even 5 p.m., I think you said. I've got the truck here. Don't y'all think it would be rather, like maybe not a truck, but a huge tote of a list of names of how many people, when they've got like these little towns, they've got 1 or 2 towers, everybody's switching to go to different places. Oh, you want to eat 9 miles away? Think about if you lived in Minneapolis, right? St. Paul, Minneapolis area up north. You would drive 9 miles to get a gallon of milk sometimes because you're on the freeway loop. You would drive an hour and a half to get to work sometimes. 9 miles is absolutely nothing. I drive 9 miles every week to go get groceries. Whoop-de-ding-dong. So I'm telling you now, if I lived in Pullman and I liked to shop or I liked to eat or I went out over or to Moscow or if I had a friend over there, I would be pinging on their tower all the dang time. So it isn't impressing me that he's pinging on their tower. It just isn't. It's not stalking. We've had that cleared up by the prosecution. I mean, truly. Hey, Hollyberry love. Welcome back. You see, of course I manipulated the info, so Ray pretty much said it, and definitely proved it in my opinion. Thank you for my opinion. Payne just gave up on the stand. I felt that. In my opinion, I felt that. And owned him. It's clear his name was given, and they ran with it. Boom. I feel you. I feel you. Vivian wants to know, could it have been some sick hazing? I felt like it was more than that. I felt like it was like guttural hatred. I mean, this is a really wicked crime. All right, so I feel the fact that when it comes to the phone pings, regardless of the information that is not being hid right now, when you really realize that it happens to be the critical information that the state is alleging will put Brian at the locations that they're saying on the drive test is what they're not showing. And we have an expert testify during that hearing that that information is not being provided to the prosecution. They, in my opinion, and I'm not a lawyer, remember, I'm a mom. And this mom's, best of my ability, I can't imagine how that evidence will be able to be shown to a jury without the defense having that met first. Or would we have a Brady? Somebody tell me, would we have a Brady violation? Which I already feel like they're stacking up. So that's the phone ping information for me. That's the biggest part for me. What are your thoughts? Sherry Krause says, it did impress me, though, that Kaylee's dad said that he was so close to the house it pinned on their Wi-Fi, not just a tower close enough to hit their Wi-Fi. And that is not what he said. I'm going to make sure I get that clip. He said he might as well have. Words matter. Sherry, what if I said, I might as well have given you $1 million? Does that make you rich? Does that make you a millionaire? I'm just asking you, sweetheart. He said that he was so close to their Wi-Fi, he might as well have hooked up on their Wi-Fi. And everybody ran with it. And I'm like, that ain't what he said. My mystical journey. We've done a video on that question. Did anyone see the bodies removed from the home? I haven't. I mean, we did a video on that and never saw it. I'm just saying. Brenna Lilly says, funny how they never showed the ambulances at the house. Well, from my understanding, the ambulance was there on the night of the 13th. And they did not do their presser. And they apologized for not doing their presser sooner. But they kept it hush. Well, they really didn't. But we all know how the town of Erie, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, Moscow, Indiana, or Idaho, whoops. I slipped into Indiana thinking of Delphi for a minute. We know how these little communities, such as Moscow, Idaho, Delphi, Indiana, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. We know how they work. Truckee, right? It's all the Truckee way. It's about you got to live here, you play by the rules, or you'll be the next unexplained right? That's how I feel. Tor 16 says, in my opinion, Payne did not come off as a lead authority in the case on the stand. Well, you're not alone, lovely. I didn't see any authority in Payne. He literally was not taking accountability at all. So it was kind of like listening to him talk where he was like, well, I really don't know what anybody does. No, there was people there from the FBI that were like kind of telling me things, and I was making notes, and then they would give me reports and maps, and I would use my crayons, and I would draw on the back of the placemat. Like I said the other night, he really didn't make sense. And he just kept saying, we turned it all into the Moscow evidence room. We turned it all in. Yep, we turned in the Moscow evidence room. Oh, that would be there too. That would be there too. And then Anne would be like, so if I need what you turned into the Moscow evidence room, where would I get that from? And he'd be like, well, the Moscow PD. And she'd be like, okay, isn't that you? And he'd be like, yes. And she'd be like, do you have it? And he'd be like, this is Patrick from the Krabby Patty. Like I said, I don't have it. It's in the evidence room. And I was like, Lord, I'm going to cry. Now I know why his last name is Payne. Because it's a pain in your brain to listen to him testify, even during a hearing. It was even played out dumber. Like, you think Maury is really that loose with his job? I don't know. I don't know what I saw. I was clicking videos. Did I watch them? Nope. Did I upload them? Yeah, I took the thumb drive over and put it in the evidence room. That's all they asked me to do. Because life was like a box of chocolates. And I'm like, okay, Mallory, get the hell off the stand. That was worthless. That's just my opinion. It just clogs my brain. I think I lost my little chat thing. I got to clear it and get caught up. Wolf Angel says, just got here. Hope I haven't missed much. Just me being silly because pain gets under my skin. Kathleen Van Bogart says, and by the way, she and I have had some emails together, and she is the most pleasant lady ever. I just wanted to share that. Kathleen Van Bogart says, it's my belief, and I may be wrong, the bodies went out when the truck and covering of the door was going on. So, my lovely, I'm sure there was some covering. However, it wasn't when people think it was, because that did not happen until December 15th. And the bodies could not have been there that long. However, I do think there was some covering, but there was no videotape. There is none online, as far as we know. And we beat the internet with a broomstick trying to get it out. Like, you cannot squeeze any more lemons out of, or lemon juice out of the lemon of digging for those. So I'm pretty confident. A Convict Thought with A.R. Hayes. Hello, lovely. Make sure and check his channel out. Another good one. We got a lot of thinkers in our group. That says a lot about, the beautiful company that we have. Hey, all. Much love to the amazing and beautiful Mama D. Thank you, lovely. A love lemon true crime. Thank you, guys. You guys are so kind. Kayla Miller, I always need to hop on a show. This beautiful lady, some love. She works hard and does amazing content. And so do you, A.R. A.R. Hayes and his wife do a great job in breaking down content. So you guys, if you're into the Idaho 4, check them out. Show them some love. We all need to support each other. Well, the Angel says they are a complete mess. I think they were betting on getting it to the grand jury, and it would be a slam dunk. Give up everything now, all of it, including all video and all audio. Amen. Amen. So when we move out of the phone ping, I want to talk about the vehicle. All right. What do we know about the vehicle on their video? One, there is nothing identifiable on their video. There is absolutely nothing identifiable on the video. It is worthless. Here's why. It has no plate visible. Therefore, you can't prove whose vehicle it was the owner. It's worthless. Number two, you can't ID a driver. There is no driver. We cannot see a driver. Even if somebody was like, I saw somebody all in black. Whoop-de-ding-dong. That doesn't mean it's Brian. There were 2,000 white Hyundai Elantra in the tip line. Prove that this is the one. Prove that the killer even used a vehicle. Because that vehicle has never been noted publicly, to the best of my knowledge, to have ever been seen on any camera leaving the home. Poof. So, without having the vehicle identified and not having the driver identified, what are you showing us? A video of what could be a white car, could be off-white, it could be yellow. Hell, it could be light orange. It could be light pink. We don't even know the color of the car you're showing us. We certainly don't know who's driving it. There's no identification markers on the vehicle that show that it belongs to this college or that one with stickers. It's empty. It's invalid. So if you've got false pings on the phone, you have one tower covering everybody, and just like Brian, and just like a lot of people from Washington who crossed over into Pullman, they probably all pinged on that tower. I'm just saying. Defense is saying that they believe they can put Brian proof using his phone in some manner through Cyray over at the Wawa Park. And yet, Brett Payne on the stand can't even explain exactly where Brian was when he made his way over there with that vehicle. Like they've lost it's a dot to dot, but the dots, there's no proof of where the dots are or how they even came up with it. Right. Jenny Troglin says you need a judge that wasn't in the university's pocket, in my opinion. Carolyn Miller says, judge has state authority, not federal authority, unless you are a federal judge. That is correct. Very good. Moonlight Ray says the state made a fair argument that it's only a procedure the state has to go through to get the information. It's not a boundary to get the information. Well, kind of. Now, I am not a know-it-all, but from my understanding, and that do your own research, but what has been communicated to me through this is that there is some information that the powers that be of the federal level can literally just say no. That they can make up whatever they want for a reason, I guess. I could be wrong, but I mean, there's just some things they're like, we're not going to tell you. Which is kind of, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Taurus 16 says JJJ is lackluster at best, in my opinion. I'm telling y'all, he's a bobblehead, and when his head quits bobbling, I swear I think he's nodded off half the time. The only thing holding his head up is his elbow and his hand. If he comes in with a fanny pack in the front right? Full of M&Ms so he can munch on them, and a pillow with a big glass straw. I mean, a big glass and a straw. I won't be surprised because he's very nonchalant. He seems completely relaxed. He's giggly. He's lappy. It's kind of like going to a Saturday Night Live skit and watching Dana Carvey, and I'd laugh about it, but it's legitimately feels like at any time he's going to be like, was it Satan? you know, and I'm going to be like, yep, I knew this was Saturday Night Live. I knew it. Brie May, welcome to 1111 True Crime. You say, Bad Level says no when informants involved. I'm saying they got their ways, right? They ain't got a clue. You're right, Denise. Denise Koenig says they need a judge that has a clue. It's a Dana Carvey skit. Like, I don't know. Let's let's think back. Chris Farley, would he play Santa? Could he play Santa? I'm trying to think of who would play. Dana Carvey would be the judge. Gil Radner could play Ann Taylor. I'm having a moment, y'all. Kind of dating myself, just saying. But it does. It feels like a Saturday Night Live skit. As says, I do believe, in my opinion, that is true at 11:11 regarding FBI. Maybe for a good reason. Could be. Could be. G. J. H. Brian didn't have front plate, yet Penn doesn't require front plates. But neither does Arkansas. Neither does Tennessee. How many states don't require a front parking lot? Y'all. I'm just saying. Aw, Jennifer Swain, my lovely. You are so beautiful. Talk about integrity, you guys. Jennifer Swain, you are beautiful soul. You say, I do sincerely apologize to Carolyn Miller for my unkindness to you. It was unwarranted, and I am so very sorry. I apologize to you, Mama D, and 1111 family. Jennifer Hunt, thank you. We care deeply for you. We really, really do. We love all our family. And we all have a bad day, right? And we all deserve second chances. And I've done it. You guys, I've been on live and I said something and it came up a little off. And I didn't mean it always. And I don't think Jennifer did either. But it came up what I typed a little harsh. And I've had to, I've had to do like Jennifer and set an example and own up to it. And thank you, Jennifer. We all have bad days and we love you. We adore you. Comrie Mom says, Jennifer Swain, you have a great character. Jenny says, thank you, Jennifer. Wildfire says, love you, Jennifer. Vivian says, and a judge that's not biased like in Manhattan. Just saying, right? Margaret says, Jennifer Swain, class act. You just strengthened us because it is about working through our differences as family and learning from each other and being kind. Not only did I believe I acted with integrity, but Carolyn Miller was so kind and gracious to us and so gentle and kind, and it gave me goosebumps. And Jen, you do that too. You bring goosebumps to me because it's restoring my faith that when we do make a mistake, all we got to do is be like, oops, I am so sorry, you guys. And we get to move forward and we all get to strengthen ourselves, right? Carolyn Miller says, thank you, Jennifer. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you. I will unblock you. I'm sorry too. I understand. And we all, like I said, everybody has a hard time at times. And we do have some harsh energies going around lately with haters making up different little true crime things and talking about how we are doing, what do they call it? I even forget. I forget what they call it. So we're making money off of the victims, right? The thing is, it wouldn't matter what case I talk about. That's the truth. If we make money, it is for all of us. Now, I have a great announcement. I ordered us. Get ready. This is big. You guys have restored my faith in a way of confidence. And so I ordered us some new lighting, an entire stage. I ordered us an entire set with a green screen, the umbrella lights, a new video camera, everything. And I'm going to be coming on so that I can be on camera while we do this and talk together. Grifters and drama channels. Thank you, Wildfire. Naggy Naggies. I call them the tater tot channels. So if I say tater tots, it's because I feel like, they're tater tots. They call us tragedy pimps, Vivian. Yeah, whatever. I can't help we're in true crime and we have this need within our mental capacity and our emotional capacity to feel like we can understand the crime so we can prevent it going forward. I don't see how there's anything wrong with that. If we don't keep the crimes in the public eye, then Brian would already had a trial, been convicted, and on death row, and they would have never been pressed like they are right now. Because it's like the truth, the light is being shined on the truth, in my opinion. Pebble says, 1111 True Crime, your voice is so soothing. Oh, thank you, lovely. Where did you write that? Thank you, Pebbles. Thank you. Joe Puglish says, sounds great. Thanks, Mama. You're the best. You built my confidence up, and I want to share that. Now, I won't always be on camera, but I will be on more. Moonlight Ray says, miss your facial expressions. I'm excited to get on here with you guys. Crime Con is happening, you guys. That is true. That is true. That is true. Aw. Deidre Rose Sharples, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. I'm going to heart it and give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for that snooper chat. Oh, and thank you, Jennifer Swain, for that $50 snooper chat, love. I forgot to thank you because I was so taken back that was so moving. It just heals. All of it is so healing because you guys all matter very much to me. I don't know. Some of you know that one of my very best friends on the planet is Robin Ann and her niece Ashley. And I was so upset, you guys, with everything because I missed everybody and I just wanted us all to heal. And so I called Robin Ann and she came over and sat with me. And I said, I was crying and I said, I don't feel okay. I feel like everything's a mess and I don't know how to fix it. And she said, well, maybe it's not meant to be fixed right now. Just rest on it. And it healed me so much because she came all the way over just to sit with me and talk to. But it was like I felt upset because I wanted everybody to feel okay. And now we're back to it, so I'm all happy. We're an amazing channel, I'm just saying. Pebble says, I'm going to CrimeCon next year. That's awesome. Wildfire says, a mother's night is never over. Gotta go handle the grown child for bedtime. Love you all to the moon and back. I know what you mean, lovely. You say at 1111 True Crime Mods and chat. Thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us. I know you don't have a lot of time. So when you spend it with us, Wildfire, it really means a lot. Thank you, lovely. Weren't the Chapins there last year? I would say yes. Because Ethan was repeating his freshman year. And I'm not gonna get into all the details about it. I literally can promise you he's repeating his freshman year. He did not have a high enough grade point average to get out of the get to the next level, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And there was a tutor involved that was part of Sigma Chi. And when you get into that, you get into Hudson Lindo, and he was also a freshman. Remember, Ethan was a triplet, so there's no time difference. They're all the same age, which means Maisie and Hunter were part of the Idaho 4, or I'm sorry, the Idaho University a year prior in 2021, to the best of my knowledge. Pebble says, thank you, Mama D, for bringing that up. Pebbles, you'll be the star if you go, says Boz Maka. Taurus 16 says, Mother Chapin was at CrimeCon last year. I heard that. All right, you guys, are you ready to move on? Let me see if I got everything on the vehicle. So like I said, no plate, no ID of the driver, no ID of the actual guarantee of make and model. It's all guesswork. 22,000 Hyundai Elantras, and the vehicle never seen leaving, as well as the driver never ID'd, like I said. The vehicle, I'm not worried about. I don't care what kind of camera footage they got, unless they can add on and be like, oh yeah, we did get the plate, or oh yeah, we captured the driver's face. I'm not really worried about the vehicle. With the bolts ping and the tower covering most of Moscow, how many people are going to ping on that tower from the other area? I mean, it's no big deal. And then they're hiding parts of that info, the critical parts. I don't see how they can do anything with that. So what are we left with? Touch DNA. This is a brutal murder of 4 people. Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan were literally taken manually, forcibly removed from this planet in a atrocious way. Yet there's no commingled DNA. We never have a cross transfer of the victim's DNA to Brian Kohberger or anything in his world. You name it, it's not there. And nor do we have Brian's DNA collected anywhere on the victims, in their beds, in their carpet. And, you know, an interaction was noted, and that was allegedly Murphy interacted in some manner with the culprit, the person, right? It's being alleged that they could hear Murphy bouncing around up there. It's also been said that, I believe somewhere around 50 feet away from the home was a camera that recorded a dog barking. No DNA of the dog transferred? None? Like he didn't shake off some spit, land on the person, and then they get in their car and all of a sudden they got something? Nothing? And if DM really saw him, if really DM saw the Killer, YouTube makes me spell, and the sheath that allegedly, if we were to be able to connect the dots, which we can't, but let's just say hypothetically for a moment that the sheath to the knife is really what was laying up there by the girls on the 3rd floor. So where's the knife when the Killer steps in front of Dylan? What, he's going to carry a knife that's absolutely sharp as crap, and regardless of what you've done with it, it still's going to cut you. Let me tell you, I broke my phone one day, And I mean, there was a crack across it, right? And um, I put it in my, like, kind of like in back behind my waistband of my jeans real quick so I could grab one of my dogs before it fell in the water because I was in nature. And that cut my back. Like, I had a scar for a long time. It really cut me good. Where's he putting the knife? I mean, it's not like he was like, I'm going to leave the knife sheath there so I'll bring this cotton I can wrap around the blade or duct tape I can wrap around the blade. No. The person would, if they brought in a sheath, would, you would think, intentionally plan on being able to slide that knife right back in there. And what? He's got it up his sleeve? And what for? Is he afraid somebody's going to see him with the knife? I can't play it out. Where's the knife? Carolyn Miller says no bloody trail leaving the house, leaving the scene. So where's the knife? We don't hear her say all clad in black with a Dora backpack, right? So where is it? Is it still in the house? If it's in the house, why didn't they find it? They even had ductwork people there that went through all the ductwork, the air ventilation. So I just don't see it really being something that makes a lot of sense. That's been one of my thoughts from the very long ago. Miss Anonymous, good job. What if one of the victims had a knife for protection? Boom. Wolf Angel says, I heard on a videotape before it was scrubbed, someone whistling, a dog barking, girl screaming, saying, no, no, no. And the videos that they were horrific. Will these videos with audio ever come out? BK was framed. I don't know. Some of it, I'm not sure if it's real or not. Pebble says, someone proficient enough with the weapon to do this damage wouldn't take the weapon and leave the sheath, in my opinion. Okay, let's go the route that, let's say, hypothetically, throwing spaghetti at the wall, let's walk this imaginary theory. The perpetrator is attacking the victim on the third floor. At one point, the other victim wakes up that hasn't been attacked yet. Is she going to go after the sheath? I don't think so. I think she would go after the weapon, right? But could, in trying to get that person off you, could you have grabbed that knife sheath and ripped it off the person's belt and therefore be, the one to be like, hey, we lost their life, but I pulled like Nightmare, Freddy Krueger, right? From Nightmare on Elm Street kind of thing, where you pulled the evidence back with you. Even though Freddy Krueger gets away, you're holding the evidence, right? Could that happen? Maybe. And some people believe that that is exactly how it happened. That it was not intentional. So if that is true, then why doesn't DM allegedly see a knife? Because are you going to put it in your boot without a sheath? How are you going to do that? Blade up or down? You're going to cut your Achilles tendon? How do you do it? You're going to cut the skin off your foot? I mean, really, where is this knife sheath the knife itself being hid? It doesn't make a lot of sense. And we have a golf club missing, too, from Ethan. Family never got Ethan's golf club back. Right? Vivian P is answering somebody. Okay, wait. Arian Machen says, Ethan was 6 foot athletic, Xana a former gymnast, still tumbling on recent video. They were awake. DoorDash. Now, hold on, that's actually an assumption. We don't know who ordered DoorDash with Xana's phone. But For the sake of theory, let's walk it with you. DoorDash. No way one person cornered both with a knife and neither one got away screaming for help. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think you got an excellent point. Basmaki says, I wouldn't have dove out the window, and no way that sheath is coming off my belt unless unbuckled. Maybe the perp was going to attempt an essay, but I doubt it. Interesting. Lynette Clump, one golf club, or did they not receive all of Ethan's clubs that was loaded into the U-Haul? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I know it was for sure at least one. Could be the whole set. Kellen Miller says, I thought the knife was hidden in floorboard where the drips of blood show outside. Oh my golly. Wouldn't they have found it? Surely they would have looked. Well, then again, maybe they didn't want to look. If they're like, well, we'll just use the sheath, right? Says Wolf Angel. Maybe, but I was taken from someone before Ellie got it. Not sure at this point. Miss Anima says the prosecutor is saying he wore coveralls. There's nowhere to hook a sheath to. That is weird. Pebble says if Ava was attempted, interrupted, it would make sense. But like you said, I doubt that. Carolyn, has Ellie ever said that they have a knife or other weapon possibly used? No, they have not. I believe it was the entire set, wasn't it? The whole set of golf clubs? It could be. You could be right there. Hey, Justice AZ. Love saves lives. Thank you, lovely. Thank you for joining us. Check out Justice A to Z. Her channel is very informative, very cozy, very homey, and a really good place to just kind of settle in and relax. Carolyn Miller says, Mama, if they look and found the knife, there's no way Brian had time to hide it there. I don't think it would be there. I couldn't promise you it's not there. It is weird how that's right on the outside there. But I think, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Thank you, Jenny. I feel like, Jenny changed your picture. I love it. You say, make just one thing make sense. I can't, honey. I wish I could. As says, but why would you not think of the most important part of your crime? The outfit. Right? As says, in my opinion, as I remember it, they said more than one club was missing, but could be 100% wrong. Got ya. Yeah, I don't know that we've ever gotten like confirmation from the Chapins. It was more or less that they still haven't gotten back Ethan's golf clubs, so we don't know. Miss Anonymous says, can't every time we try, we end up with more questions than answers, right? A to Z says, Justice A to Z says, Mama D, have you seen my chakra tower project I've been working on in my background? No, I haven't. I'll have to get over there. I haven't been doing many videos lately. I just kind of been, I don't know, doing my own thing. Working in my garden, playing with my dogs, trying to stay off the drama streets, right? Interior family says, too many things don't make sense in this case. And Pebbles says, especially considering the lack of evidence that should be present, right? That's true, Carolyn Miller. Stacy Chapin, the mother of Ethan, said 2 a.m. is her darkest hour. That is for sure. Alibi, the 4chan posting was eerily accurate in stating the red rum took exactly 19 minutes. This was before BK was found. I've just always I'm stuck on 19-minute theory. I actually have a video called 19-minute theory on this, and I have yet to have it debunked. You know, I mean, that theory, I'm basing off what you guys have taught me and what I've read in the 4chan and other things. Excuse me, forgive me. And I'm not saying it's 1,000% correct. I'm just saying the basis of it makes more sense and answers more questions with what we've seen come out of the state's narrative. Just my opinion. Wolf Angel says, can we imagine how much evidence was buried with the house in an unknown location, never to be found ever? Ugh. Ugh. Deidre Rose Sharple says, and Taylor is good. Don't know what to think now. I know it kind of pulled the table like cloth from under the whole, like what the prosecution set up was like this. It looked like an elegant dinner, you know? It looked like the perfect dinner on the table, like a feast for everybody in a sense, is what I imagine that the prosecution set up. But when you get closer, you realize it's plastic food. And it's like paint for ketchup. And you're like, wait a minute, this is just like smoke and mirrors. And it was almost like this last hearing where Brett Payne got up there and couldn't like even formulate an entire plan. He ran in a circle like a chihuahua chasing its little tail, right? And then Cy Ray got up there and was like, let me show you how it's done. Competent, real, new stuff, understood the machinery. I mean, here's the thing, okay? When I worked at the egg plant, there were different machines. And there were some machines that I didn't know a dang thing about. There were some machines I knew enough to get me by. And there were certain machines that had come in when I got hired. I ordered them and I knew everything about them. And I was their go-to for almost any machine when they had a problem, whether it was a labeler, a timing issue, a magnetic tracker, didn't matter. They thought because I could read a book, right, as a production coordinator, that fell under my title somehow. So I can tell by his competence, Cy knows the machine he's talking about. He knows how it should work, how it's supposed to work, and how you should do your job. He knows when you're purposely not calibrating the machine properly in hopes to find something that would mislead you. He's going to know if they basically fudged. And is that why they do not want to hand over their work? Because they manipulated the results. And that's what Cy Ray is saying. He's basically looking at the prosecution saying, listen, I know what I'm talking about. If you hand me the results and you didn't do anything wrong, I'll come up to the same conclusion as you most likely. But if you don't give me the results, it's telling me there's probably a nefarious reason, in my opinion. But I'm no lawyer. Vivian P says they never collected that black coat either. So sloppy. Actually, they came back for it, is what I was told. I don't know if that's true, though. It's hearsay. But you could be right. Pebble says, that's what I remember as well, but I can't find the interviewer's statement where I got that from. I missed something. I missed it. Carolyn Miller says, and I questioned, did Kaylee loan Maddie that coat? And was that coat owned by Christy Gonsalves? And y'all, don't get on me if I said it wrong. I don't want to hear it. I have a hard time understanding it. And here's why. Some of you say Goncalves. Some of you say Gonsalves. So either way I say it, half of you correct me. Don't do that anymore. Steve G says nobody says it right, and so we're going to say G, right? So I don't want a bunch of texts about how to say it and how I've been in this case forever and should be able to say it the way you want me to. Quit it. Don't do that to me. It's not nice. And she left it in Kaylee's new car. Ooh, Carolyn. I wonder if that's true. Christy G has very similar coats to that style. I've seen her in that. And you say she's been photographed. And she did an interview out on the street. The only time I've ever seen her outside was in Moscow. I believe Moscow. And it was at night. And I don't know, was she in that kind of coat then? Justice A to Z says it's that Brady Giglio issue, but why would he even be involved in two cases over 150 miles apart? I missed something. Layla says this is part of organized crime. This looks like a hit crime. Traffickers do these types of things to control the area. Well, you're not wrong. Deidre Rose Sharple says, yet the black sheet coat, supposedly Maddie's coat, left on the water thingy. The fire hydrant? Right, that's what we're talking about. That's something other people wonder too. Isles of View says, I think Jack D may have given it to her, meaning Kaylee, or Maddie, meaning Maddie. Okay, at the corner club. Perhaps. That is a good point I've never heard anyone make. Pebbles is saying, does anyone else find it odd that Maddie was never seen on her cell phone that night? That is odd. She didn't even pull it out to look at it. That is extremely odd. Excellent point, by the way. Pebble says, I've got to watch a hearing again, to be honest. Mm-hmm. All right, my lovely Loos. We're going to end this episode tonight where we've gotten together. I hope you got relaxed. I really do hope that we get justice for the Idaho 4. I mean, all they've got are the three pieces as far as I know. Bone pings, vehicle on a cam, and the DNA on a knife sheath. And I really don't feel that DNA is going to hold up to much nothing. I mean, it could be transferred by anybody that had contact with Brian or Brian's stuff. Could have been planted by corrupt LE. There was no dog hair transferred, no victims transferred DNA onto Brian. None of that. I mean, the whole thing. And what about those two unknown male DNA? Right? Well, I love you to the moon and back. I truly do. We're going to get over. Let's see how I want to do this. We're going to go to movie time. Okay? And we'll get this up there. And I'll get this off the screen. There you go, my lovelies. Let's see. Let's get that background going. And I'm going to end the show tonight with wishing you all a very relaxing, easy night. I hope tomorrow goes good for you. I'm going to close down my chat, and I'm going to end it with one of our favorite artists ever on this channel. Forgive me, Brandon Maddox. And he is an amazing guitarist, songwriter, singer. He does it all. He's a one-man show. Well, time will tell on you. Good night, everybody. I love ya. To the moon and back.
You can tell yourself and all our friends I was wrong and you were right. But your sins that happened in the dark will come out in the light. I'm not gonna waste my breath, I won't put up a fight. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. Time will tell, time will tell on you. When a train whistles far away, and when the cold wind blows, when the lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul, the world will be reminded of what it already knows. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. Time will tell, time will tell on you. No one may ever say a thing, but surely as the seasons change, you feel like every finger points at you 'cause you're to blame. And the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. Time will tell, time